KSWV.
You're listening to Radio Shockwave.
dreams, skirts the edge of night. Tower Rod's voice rings raw and strong. Bending gray lifts us up and strong. Moxie God bringing that retro heat. Von Kaiser vocal so sharp and clean. Memory design pulling stellar moves. Managing YouTube, spreading out our tunes. Boys are keeping community tight. Dream pocket posting on saucers tonight. RetroSynth will bow on the upright. Dan is the member on a joyride. Night ride, FM, boom, da da da. Tennessee and Jules talking caca. Eric lost us on the scene in the Coverdale. She's a radio queen. From Megatronics to LXR. RetroSynth takes us far. Razor lead, 84's groove. Elevate the sky in every move. Michelangelo's retro boxes unite. Levelettes, melodies soaring high. Russell Nash and Emperor's might. Six makes your day alright. With a song Beckett and some neon flare. Every RetroSynth artist gets us there. Let riot to the stars we return. For RetroSynth records the rap music bombs. RetroSynth will bow on the upright. Dan is the member on a joyride. Night ride, FM, boom, da da da. Tennessee and Jules talking caca. Eric lost us on the scene through the Coverdale. She's a radio queen. From Megatronics to LXR. RetroSynth takes us far. Stream keeps us moving through the night. RetroSynth glow our guiding light. Retro radio, the KSWV, where audio shockwaves are mighty. RetroSynth glow bow on the upright. Dan is the member on a joyride. Night ride, FM, boom, da da da. Tennessee and Jules talking caca. Eric lost us on the scene through the Coverdale. She's a radio queen. From Megatronics to LXR. RetroSynth takes us far. Takes us far. Takes us far. KSWV Radio Shockwave out of San Diego, California, where we play you, and you're listening to Casual Fridays with Dan. I am your host, Miami Dan, and that was our brand new intro, RetroSynth Rising, and that is courtesy of, well, tons of people that are in the chat. Most importantly, Bending Grid put that together along with the help of Memory Design and Warren and Eric C. Pal, and I was floored when I heard that. He sent me a little text message. It's like, I sent you a surprise via Submit Hub. I'm like, what, Submit Hub? You don't have to submit to Submit Hub. And I downloaded that. I'm like, oh my God. This is awesome. And yeah, it's definitely created by AI, but oh my God. But like, you know, the lyrics and everything were all written by Bending Grid and edited and mixed and mastered by Bending Grid. And from what I understand, the help of Warren, Memory Design, Dream Pocket, and Eric C. Pal. So thanks, guys. That was a wonderful surprise. And yeah, I can see. Warren said in the chat that the original plan was to not tell me. Yeah, no one did. It was great. It was a complete surprise. A complete surprise. Bending Grid. Like I said, he sent it via submission through Submit Hub. And wow, yeah, I was definitely taken aback, and it was perfect timing because we've been getting hit by YouTube copyright for our Crockett's theme intro, even though that was from my creation. It still flags for copyright. So the YouTube war continues, which is why we are making ourselves available everywhere on all kinds of platforms, and we're going to be discussing one of those platforms right after this next song. And this song is off of Laser Steel Records, and this is by the artist known as Sung. And with Sung, we are offering his vinyl over on the RetroSynth Records Bandcamp page. You can head to retrosynthrecords.bandcamp.com or over to lasersteelrecords.bandcamp.com and check out Sung's monster album. And we're going to play Stronger by Sung.
Shadows of my life. You're my you make me so much stronger. The fear won't break me ever. 'Cause we are tigers all together. I told the moon to have your name. In clouds to cover for the cold. The darkness will fade out into flame. tying us all together.
Gotta love Sung. That was Stronger by Sung off of his Monster album. So hopefully enjoy that. Like I said, if you want to pick that up, by all means, head over to retrosynthrecords.bandcamp.com or lasersteelrecords.bandcamp.com. And we got all kinds of people in the chat. Let's give some shout outs in the chat first before we move on to our announcement. And we have a ton of announcements today. Just forewarning you all, it's going to take up a lot of the show. Not much music might get played because we have so much going on. Not going to lie, this might be one of the most important live shows that I have ever done. So with the amount of announcements that we have going on today, we have a partnership announcement, which is going to be getting on in just the next few minutes. I'm going to be calling a certain someone. Then we have a new artist announcement being added to our roster. And we have a new collaboration announcement, which takes my breath away that it's even happening. So we'll be getting to all of that. And we're going to have a special guest on as well with another announcement. So today is an extremely, extremely busy day. We're going to have I'm going to have two special guests on today. So it's going to be absolutely amazing. But let me give some shout outs first. So big shout outs to the chat. And the chat consists of Pashang, Zed Arcadia, Memory Design, Lorraine Watson. And yes, I have to say it like that every time. Laxrax. I almost said Lorax. Laxrax Music. Warren is here. Midnight City Studios is here. And let's see, Six Mix Six is here. Welcome, and he just joined in. And Don Eastland is here. Don, good to see you. I have personally hung out with Don down in Baltimore, and let me tell you something. Don Eastland has an amazing voice that we hope to be sharing with all of you here at RetroSynth Records. So, all right, so let's get some of these announcements going because we have quite a number of them. So let me get my messenger going. And we're going to be calling our special guest. All right, here we go. It is... Yep, there we go.
Dan.
James. Welcome.
Hello.
Right, for those in the chat and listening, I am on the phone with James of Midnight City TV, Midnight City Studios. So, James, we've been working on some things behind the scenes, and we have some big announcement for today. So you want to lean into what that big announcement is for today, sir?
Absolutely. I'm happy to announce that RetroSynth Records is the official record label, I should say, of Midnight City Studios, MCTV. RetroSynth, you guys are getting ready to have your own category, channel, however you want to say it, on MCTV.
Yep.
It's going to be a great opportunity for all the artists that you guys currently have on your roster and get some more in and be great for them too.
Yep, exactly. And we can comfortably say now that Midnight City TV is now the official TV station of RetroSynth Records, and it is available on both it's both on Roku, Google, and Apple. And you can check out Midnight City TV or MCTV from your app store and download that to any of your device, and then you'll be able to watch Synthwave, RetroSynth videos from any of your devices, and you can listen to the music, again, from any of your devices. And then you also have 80s and 90s trivia in there. Is that correct?
We got trivia. We've got vintage commercials, like big compilations. People like to watch that and relive the good old days, so to speak. We got some like top 10 countdown lists, 80s and 90s gaming, all kinds of fun stuff.
That is awesome, especially the 80s and 90s gaming. That part really tickles my fancy, especially because growing up during the 80s and 90s, I was, I was your typical Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis gamer growing up during that time, and that leans heavily into my affection for Synthwave, because Synthwave draws on many of those inspiration from those classic video games. How about you?
Oh, absolutely. Like, I mean, when I was growing up, I used to spend a lot of time at the arcade there at the mall. It was, I say it was huge, but I was very small then. But to me, it was huge. There was, just so many games, and I could just stay in there for hours and hours. And then, of course, at home, I had the NES actually, Atari was my first system.
There you go. Did you have the 2600?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep,
me
and
too.
Sit there and would play Donkey Kong and Pitfall. Oh, God, that was my favorite game.
Pitfall. Yes,
Forever
Pitfall and Pitfall and Dugout. Ever played Dugout? It was like Pitfall.
I don't believe that I have. I think I've heard of it, but I don't think I've played it.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. You had a gun that you can shoot holes in the ground, and the enemies would fall into the hole and then fill the hole, or you can shoot the hole and then fall through the hole yourself to escape and get on to the next level. It was on originally Commodore 64 back in the day.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what I hate about growing up, is because when you're a kid, you sit here and you play this stuff and you love it, but then you end up getting rid of it. And
yeah.
I sit here and I think, God, because I'm talking about the Atari, I had one of the ET games, and I'm like, just to have that now, even though how terrible it was,
right,
would be phenomenal.
Yep.
Because most of them got buried in a landfill. So.
Yeah, pretty much. That's where most of them go to die, sadly.
But I'm really excited about this. And, of course, independent artists can always submit for MCTV. But to be a RetroSynth artist, there's just so much more that goes, that goes into it, as far as how much you get out of it. And I do want everybody to know that as far as MCTV, Midnight City goes, submissions are always open.
Yep.
You're never going to catch a time where we're down for 6-7 months at a time. And
you mean like some other platforms out there where they
exactly.
close their submissions for like months on end? Yeah, I don't know who we're talking about, but yeah.
Yeah, me neither. But yeah,
yeah, we don't talk about that here. Yeah.
And the really great part about it is we don't put so much of a limit on things. I'm not one of those people that are like, I'm only going to take something if it's going to make me money, because it ain't about me. It's about everybody else.
Exactly.
It's about the musician. So, and everybody has the potential, because the way that it works, like I said, once we I actually nail down one of these ad deals, everything else falls into place.
Right.
And then, I'm wanting people to hopefully migrate from these other, some of these platforms like YouTube, because MCTV, you're not going to have to jump through hoops to get paid. If your video makes money, you're going to make money. End of the story.
Right. So you're saying you don't have to have like 1,000 streams to get paid a single dime?
No, exactly.
Like some other, streaming platforms with a green logo that we all know?
Is that what they're paying these days?
No.
It's like
no. It's
0.0003 of a cent.
Yes. It's like 0.0001. And you have to get at least 1,000 streams just to qualify for that.
That's ridiculous.
How can anyone make money on that? I just don't get it. It's
Well, if you're not part of that corporation, you're not going to make money off of that.
right,
That's
exactly.
that's what I think we've talked about this before. Like when we were growing up, I don't know about you, but it really seemed like the world was literally at our fingertips, and then somewhere along the way, that whole thing got stolen. It really did, and maybe it's through social media and all these apps. I don't know, because we've talked about this before. Used to, you could market yourself, you could
Right.
actually get organic views, and now no, you can't even do that. You got to fight against it.
Right.
Now, I see on MCTV right now, we're offering 3 months of free ads for anybody who's synthwave related. So if you have a synthwave style store, retro futuristic store, or even a nostalgia store or whatever, we're offering that right now. My whole thing is you have to build everything up because the money's there and they know it, and they've written their terms and conditions to where it's going to be hard for you to ever see a dime of it.
Exactly. Right, and that's
And with
thing that
MCTV,
we're
the way
fighting
that we've set up our business model, very transparent, and it just is what it is. If your video makes money, you make money.
Right.
End of story.
Right.
So, and I really look forward to it, and I want the artists to really understand that, get excited about it, and right now, just keep submitting. Everything's laid out to where you risk absolutely nothing. Nobody is out a single thing, but there's everything to gain.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's what we are also all about, and trying to make that happen. And that's why RetroSynth Records is very proud to partner up with you and make this all happen and call you our official TV station of RetroSynth Records, which is just... It blows my mind. It just blows my mind that we have a TV station now. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
it began with KSWV. KSWV was gracious enough to have us on and start with this little show of mine, and it has ballooned into where it is now, and that has led to many growths here at RetroSynth Records, and adding to our amazing team and staff. And then, of course, and now you getting involved. So, yeah, it's it's just
Pretty exciting stuff, right?
dude. Yeah, and I have announcements later on today. That's gonna absolutely blow people's minds. It blew my mind. I can't believe that it's happening. And when I told the individuals involved about the MCTV, partnership that you and I have, their minds were blown. So I'm like, okay, wait a minute. I'm blowing your mind. You just blew my mind. Everyone's mind's being blown right now. There's brain fragments everywhere,
Well, now I'm really excited because I have no idea.
Well, then
Either,
you got to
so.
stay tuned. Yeah, you got to keep listening to the show.
Oh, absolutely, of course. that's a good way to do it. You
Right. I
Keep
gotta
people listening
in
so they can hear it.
That's right. You got to have people in suspense.
But yeah, I'm really excited about this too. There's so much potential here.
Yeah.
And like I said, me and you have talked, and I think that that I mean it when I say, Midnight City MCTV. It's already a thing, and it's going to remain a thing, and it's just going to keep getting bigger.
Yep.
So
Absolutely.
it's here, and let's all get together and let's all do this together, because that's the way it was supposed to be from the get-go, and
That's
we
right.
lost sight of that somewhere along the way.
Yeah, we sure did. So I'm going to let everyone know that not currently on the screen right now on our stream, but what I'm going to be doing is the next Casual Fridays with Dan, the visualizer screen will be a little bit different, and it'll be showcasing the QR codes that go directly to MCTV. And that way you can check it out. Doesn't make a difference if you want it on Roku or if you want it on Apple or iTunes. It'll be a scannable code that you can just hit with your cell phone. It'll take you directly to the App Store, and then you can download MCTV. And then you can listen to it on the go too, right, James? You don't have to be connected. You could just be roaming with just cell service and listen to MCTV, correct?
Well, yeah, absolutely. And I want everybody to know that, you're looking at when you download it. I mean, everything looks great anyway, but you have to know that basically, even though it's out, we're still all in beta testing. It's just going to keep getting better.
Right.
There's things that I'm testing, and you'll see it on there. It'll just say test, but but I mean, and so feedback's important.
Right.
I want people to say, hey, this isn't working. Hey, this is working. Hey, how about this? Have you thought about that? And if I can make it work, I'll do it.
Yeah, exactly.
But there was something I did want to say. If you go on your iPhone to the Apple Store, it's easy to find MCTV. If you have an Android and you go to Google Play, it's a little bit more difficult if you just type in MCTV. For some reason, I guess it's because where it's fresh and new and it hasn't been reviewed a lot yet.
That happens.
But so if you go on there, you have to type in MCTV and then the word midnight, and then it'll be the first one that pops up.
Okay, there we go.
So there was a lot of confusion out there, and people was like, "It's not on Google Play," and I was like, "Yeah, I promise you, it is." So, but yeah, having those QR codes will definitely help.
Yeah,
and then
I
if you
think
have
so.
a Roku TV, it pops right up when you just search MCTV.
Yeah. When you first launched on Roku, I was able to find it right away using just MCTV. It popped up right away. Amazon was a little difficult, like you're saying. Not Amazon, Google. Google was a little
Google
bit
Play,
different.
yeah.
Right. But I have a really old, archaic iPhone 6, so it won't load it. But it pops up in. Oh yeah. I use it as a camera. That's pretty much anything I can use it for nowadays. But I load it up in the App Store. It popped up, so it's great.
Perfect.
Yeah. Now, what would you say is the video content on MCTV currently?
Well, currently there's several different categories for the music videos. You have Synthwave, retrowave, chillwave, dark synth, and outrun.
Okay.
And then, of course, you have the 80s and 90s categories, which have, and you also have series. So if you just wanted to go on there and play hours of trivia in the 90s, you've got that. There's a whole just section of 90s trivia, and you can go in there and it'll just keep auto playing for you, and you guys can have a great night, whatever.
Oh, that's awesome.
And same thing with the commercials. I seriously, I will just turn it on myself and let the commercials play in the background while I'm sitting there working.
That
And
is awesome.
just hearing some of that old stuff is fantastic. It just takes you back. A lot of things you forgot about, or you're like, oh man, I remember that Christmas when I seen that commercial. And it's, I don't know. Like we have some really great Christmas stuff getting ready. I can't wait till December rolls around.
Oh,
Currently we have Thanksgiving commercials from the 80s and 90s on there.
Oh, that's so cool.
And I can't wait until, one day we will be able to afford to license major 80s and 90s content shows. I can't wait till we have the old cartoons.
Dude, if we can get the stuff from our childhood, Transformers, G.I. Joes, Smurfs, the real Ghostbusters. You have to
Marshall
have
Bravestar.
Oh, Marshall.
That's one I would
Bravestar.
love to find is Bravestar.
Yeah, and
I was big
into like Voltron, and I have this. Actually, I still have the the toys. There was a Japanese anime back then called Jace and the Wheeled Warriors, and that's one of my all-time favorites. It was a little different. I think it aired on the very first Nickelodeon back then or something like that. I forget. I was a kid, but I collected like all the toys, and that's what my parents would get me for like birthdays and Christmas and stuff. But it was between that and Voltron and Transformers and G.I. Joes. Those were those are my selection of toys, right? And then I was even into like what was it? Rainbow Bright, Strawberry Shortcake, He-Man, She-Ra. I watched all those, and then there was then there was the Snorks Mask. Dude,
Mask was fantastic.
I can go on forever about the 80s cartoons back then. It just
do you remember the one they had? It was cops, and it was like futuristic cops.
Yes.
I just can't remember. Like, it was actually called Cops. It was COPS, but there was like little dots in the middle. It stood for something, but I can't remember what it was.
But didn't they have like cool vehicles and stuff like that?
everything had cool vehicles because you had to sell a toy. That was what the 80s was. It was
That's
like,
right.
how can we make? They took a toy line and then they made a cartoon out of it, and that was
God,
fine.
yeah.
It was perfect.
Yeah.
It was a great idea.
They
It worked.
sure did. It worked.
I was
and
always huge with the Ghostbusters, Ninja Turtles, Batman.
Ninja
That was like my
Turtles.
3 top.
Oh yeah. That Batman animated series was chef's kiss, man. I freaking love that one. Yeah.
But now, speaking of like the content, I do want to stress this. So, Midnight City, and I've made posts about it before. Like, we have our own storyline. So basically, after the New Year's Eve of 1999, nothing from 2000 to now matters in Midnight City. Nothing will ever be on there. So,
Right.
because and the reason I stress that is because I've had some submissions that, even though it's synthwave music, had to do with politics. I'm like, no,
Nope.
absolutely not.
Nope.
We're not getting anywhere near any of this crap.
Nope.
MCTV is a place to purely escape
Correct.
and make
we
your
got
own
enough of that
future.
political stuff in real life. We don't need it in the virtual, 80s, 90s synthwave grid. It just doesn't belong there. I have to
I like
agree.
when creativity was about really loving what you were doing and not trying to just keep talking about the same crap over and over
Right.
again.
And pushing some kind of message. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep. I totally am right there with you on that one. So,
Yeah. So,
about
but that's,
Steve?
like we say, let's go back and rewrite the past. So basically,
Amen.
everything, like I said, everything from 2000 and up, make your own future.
Yep. That works for me.
The way it should have been a much better one. So.
Right, and that's what synthwave is all about, is imagining that the 80s never stopped, that it's that the music, the clothes, the cartoons, all that just never ended.
Well, not just that, man. The togetherness.
Yep.
Like, I remember back we had the Hands Across America thing.
Oh yeah.
And that, like,
remember
people really did that. They
Yep.
did that in droves. There was a bunch of people out there just holding hands.
Yep.
And
Imagine
you
that,
can't
holding
get
hands.
people to do anything anymore together except, I don't know, go tear some shit up. Sorry, go tear some stuff up.
Right.
But people were more together. Families were more together.
Yep.
I don't remember the last time sitting at a table and eating and just talking without somebody having a phone out, something ringing in the background. There's some buzzer going. No wonder everybody has ADHD. There's always a buzzer or something going off to distract you from what you're currently doing.
Some kind of notification. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to
There's something
silence
going on.
all those, by the way, just so that everyone knows. I have to silence all notifications, especially when I'm streaming and on the radio. Otherwise, the audience will hear them all. So they all get silenced. I don't hear anything. But yeah.
Okay, good, because I was a little worried.
Oh yeah. Well, it's so distracting, and we're so used to it now. And it just, talk about finding it hard to concentrate on just one thing. How can you when you're constantly being distracted by 10 billion things going off at once? So.
Now, I did want to say something real quick before
go
I have
ahead.
to run.
Yep, we got to wrap it up.
I loved the theme song that was done, and I think I've told you that I have something similar that I would like for for everybody to take a whack, at and
Yes.
and see if they could do a remix of it or make it sound better or whatever. So we'll have to post that later as some sort of a contest. So that's just another little thing for everybody. But
Absolutely.
I will run. Like
Yep.
I said,
Real quick, just
appreciate
just
everything,
give us
and
the
I'm looking
name.
forward to it.
Just give us your website real quick. Just let us know so the audience can hear the official website of MCTV.
Oh, go to MidnightCityStudios.com.
There you go, everybody.
That easy, that simple.
MidnightCityStudios.com. Or check it out.
And there'll be plenty
on,
of updates.
Yep. Or check it out on all the the different platforms: Roku, Apple, and Google. I keep getting things with Amazon. All right, James, great to have you. Thanks for being here.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And we are announcing, like we said, the official partnering of MCTV and RetroSynth Records. All right, James,
Yes, sir.
I will let you go. You have yourself a wonderful rest of your afternoon, sir.
You too, sir. Bye-bye.
Take it easy. Bye-bye. All right, so that is one of our big announcements going down. Time for another one right now. Our very own Bending Grid and Power Rob, their song Shane has gotten into the BBC radio, and could not be more proud of Bending Grid and Power Rob. And also, speaking of Bending Grid, speaking of Power Rob, Megatronics has some shows coming up. Like, oh my goodness, they have shows. And the shows are going to be absolutely amazing. Megatronics, they bring down the house, and it is absolutely amazing. They have some shows coming up in Baltimore that you don't want to miss. So there is a brand new show. It is December 28th that will be in Baltimore. They are headlining the set. You don't want to miss that. It'll be a full 1 hour set of Megatronics, featuring also the Noise and Quick Save as special guests. But I have more. Megatronics in 2 weeks on the 26th, which is a Tuesday. You can check out the official ticket sales just to be sure, make sure I'm okay with this. Megatronics is opening for none other than Dance with the Dead, and they, of course, bring it as well. Justin and Tony. So, yeah, our very own Megatronics will be opening for Dance with the Dead in Baltimore in 2 weeks' time. You don't want to miss that show if you can, especially if you enjoy having your face melted off, because, trust me, between those two, you're not going to have a face anymore. So, big shout out to Luna Coverdale, the amazing Luna Coverdale, for joining us in the chat. And my bandmate, Christopher J. Payne, is also in the chat. We're going to be talking to him in just a minute. But before, we're going to play the song that got onto the BBC. This is Shane by Bending Grid and Power Rob.
Enemies when you're searching for new love.
that song is now featured on BBC Radio. Shane by Bending Grid and Power Rob. Yeah, I had to say it like that. I can't say that name without saying Bending Grid. I just, yeah, could not be prouder of Bending Grid and Power Rob getting onto the BBC with Shane. That just blows my mind. Absolutely blows my mind. All right, time for our second guest. Let me give him a call right now. See if this works. Live radio, people. Live radio. So if it doesn't work, I can't take it out. Oh, it's ringing. Let's see if he picks up. He's not picking up. Okay, let's try something else. Let's see if we work it so he calls me. And let's try it that way. Yeah, we have all kinds of things going on today, everybody, and it is just absolutely amazing. Okay, here he is. Do. Hello?
Can you all hear me?
Is this the sexiest man alive?
No, but I'll do. I'll take second place on that one.
Everybody, hi, welcome to the chat. Christopher J. Payne, otherwise known as Pyramid of Chaos, otherwise known as the other half of Neutron Dreams, our band, otherwise known as my best friend. And welcome, my friend, to Casual Fridays with Dan. How you doing so far today?
I'm doing good, but you missed one out.
What was that? Grandmaster of the Universe?
Otherwise known as Barely Alive today. Oh, jeez, I'm tired.
Well, I am kind of cracking the whip a little hard today, aren't I?
Oh, my. If you all knew how hard this person pushed me, you'd probably donate $10 billion to me and say, you need to be put in a whole person's home now. You can retire. I think, I've got a week off. Dan's like, it's 20 projects for you.
That's right. Got to keep it turning.
I know. But, better that than being bored, I guess.
Well, yeah, there's that. And it's like, what else are you going to do with your time if I'm not, knocking on the door all the time,
I know. I'm like, I've got some spare time. I finally released my album I was going to release a month and a half ago.
That's what you thought.
No. Yeah. Oh, no. Here's another 2 remixes that need doing in 3 seconds. Oh,
that's right.
But no, I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
Good.
Yeah.
Why don't you let's chat some stuff so the people that are in wonderful Radio Land and on KSWV and here on the RetroSynth Records live YouTube stream, let's tell them what we got cooking. Go ahead. I'll let you start.
Well, at the minute I got chicken breast in the oven. But
is it seasoned well?
Yeah. Oh, no, I burnt it. No.
Oh God. Well, at least you gotta make sure Gordon Ramsay doesn't bust into your house and say it's raw. You definitely you don't want raw chicken.
Yeah, my favorite musician is Jean-Michel Jarre, and all through the 80s, before the phrase became popular, he'd always say he was in his kitchen cooking beats, and it would always make me hungry. I'd be like, oh my God, now I'm hungry. I'm surprised I'm not 2,000 pounds. I'm I'm cooking beets. Really, I'm sitting eating a bar of chocolate. But,
oh my God! Now you're pretty fit though. So.
Oh yeah. I'm a tiny little guy. I'm 5'5.5". 140 pounds. So I'm not exactly a towering inferno of a guy.
Right.
But no, we've got lots of projects on the go. At the moment, I'm doing lots of masters for people.
Right.
A couple of them, unfortunately, were put on hold because I have health issues in my eyes. But then now I'm playing catch up
Right.
as you do.
Yes.
Um, but I past week, 3 or 4 of those were let go again. They finished. Now I've got a couple more I'm finishing up over the weekend. Then at the last second, as Dan always does, he's like, "How would you feel if I said I've got a project that needs doing um,
Now.
soon?" Yeah, and
Now.
I'll be like, "Oh, okay, Dan. What do you mean by soon?" He's like, "Well, tonight's Thursday." I'll be like, "Yeah." He's like, tomorrow. And I'll be like, "But I've got this other 2 projects that have to be finished tomorrow." And he's like, "Yeah, but this is going on a compilation. It's kind of urgent."
Right.
And
Right.
I'm like, "Oh, well, there goes the last of my hair."
Yeah. I am
But
forcing you to go bald.
just so everybody listening knows, this is nothing new for Dan, okay? We've done several live shows where Dan, in his infinite wisdom,
Right.
or their lack of, has suddenly told me on a Monday, "By the way, on Friday, we're doing a live show. We're doing a live stream, and we've got no playlist ready. We've had no resource, so go."
Right.
And I'm like, "What do you mean go?"
And it's usually because I find out last minute, and it's like,
I
holy
know.
crap! Now we have to scramble and get
Yeah.
stuff done.
And that's actually why we switched to Studio One originally, because
Yeah.
we were just plodding along, FL Studio. It worked fine for us at the time.
Right.
And then we get this live show. FL Studio might be great for the studio. It is not good for live.
Yep.
As we found out, crashing. We could not load any instruments in correctly to play live. With
Oh,
the
it was
battery pads.
terrible.
We
Yeah.
had one hell of a time. And
Yeah.
in the end, that's it. We're switching.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, Dan is my best friend, as people know. A lot of people know. But at the same time, unpredictable should be his middle name.
Yes.
I
I second that.
people tell me I should always be kept on my toes. But there's being kept on your toes, and then there's ready to jump off a cliff.
Right. Well, at least you have really strong toes, and feet. You could be a ballerina at this point.
I have strong toes and feet, but it's the rest of me that's falling apart now.
Right.
It's like, look at my hands and toes. I can play anything on the keyboard. I can play great drum machines, but I've got no body left. It's just all
Right.
falling apart.
It's gone. It's just absolutely gone. Real
Yeah.
quick, I wanted to just respond to something that you mentioned in the chat. He said when we were talking about toys with James, you mentioned Barbie dolls.
Oh, yeah.
So, self-confession. So I am the oldest boy in my family. I am the only boy of the children. So I have all sisters, and I am multiple marriages with my mom and my dad. And my dad had a daughter before he married my mom, and then had me, and then they split up, and then my mom got remarried. She had a bunch of girls, and then my dad remarried, and she already had a girl. So I have 4 half-sisters and 1 stepsister. Well, of course, I was the oldest in the house. I was 7 when my first baby sister was born. So from like 7 to like 13, no lie, dude, our house was full of Barbie dolls. And yeah, I had to play Barbie with all 3 of my younger sisters.
Yeah, but I know you probably took the head off for dirty reasons.
Oh, absolutely. Especially Ken, dude. Oh, I ripped that sucker's head off real quick. No, so my favorite thing to do, which drove my sisters absolutely nuts, right, was I built a catapult. Like a wood catapult with a spring and everything. And my favorite thing was to be on the second floor, and I would sit right above the stairwell going down to the first floor and launch Ken and Barbie, into the stairwell, and then they would smack against the wall, and you would see their like head pop off, or an arm or a leg, and I'd be just dying while my little sisters are crying. It's just,
Well,
yeah,
good.
I wasn't the best, older brother growing up. I did torture my sisters a little bit.
Well, there are two shows you mentioned and one you didn't, which I just wanted to say. Two shows you mentioned, my favorite of all time from the 80s is Transformers. I am
yeah.
Still a huge Transformers fan.
Oh, same
Sorry,
here.
Optimus Prime, you
Yep.
know, the go-to robot always will. I'm sorry, he just is.
Oh,
Big
big time.
And I will die on that one.
You'll die on that.
And then the other one you mentioned, Jason the Real Warriors, I love that show.
Oh,
I
yeah, dude.
absolutely love with the Monster Minds.
Oh,
Yeah, I
Monster
absolutely
Minds,
love
right?
that show.
Saul
Yeah.
Boss, Jace.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, dude.
That was, but then there was another one you didn't mention,
Which
but
one's
I
that?
don't even know if it made it to the USA or not.
What's that?
It was called Starfleet X Bomber Project.
No, I don't
yeah,
think so.
It was, I believe it was made in Japan, and it was in England. I think they did the translation. I'm not sure. I think it was a translation of it in England, and
Cool.
it became really popular. They had these little spaceships, but they would merge into a robot called DiX. Okay,
That sounds like Voltron. Yeah, it's Voltron.
yeah, kind of. But
Yeah.
it was more of a puppet style, not puppets, but it was more of a marionette type show.
Mm.
Yeah, like
Okay.
so think of like Terrorhawks, that kind of thing. Okay, but the effects for the time were fantastic, and they were going to do another season, but the studio burnt down. They lost most of the props,
Oh,
and they
that
couldn't
sucks.
afford to build it.
Yeah.
And it was absolute. It's still one of my favorite shows to this day. I mean, I absolutely. My wife watched a little bit of it. I'm like, this is DiX. He's my second favorite robot of all time because I'm a nerd,
Right.
you know. And she's like, when they showed him walking, fighting, it's obviously a guy in a suit. And she's like, that's just a man in a suit. I'm like, well, yeah, this is the 80s. I'm like,
Right.
you know,
Hello.
yeah. And I'm like, but look at the effects of this one. The spaceships all explode. She's like, yeah, it's cool. And I'm like, yeah, she's not a nerd like me.
Oh,
But yeah, I am just like most of us are who listen to the show. We're all 80s nerds, but you know, coming from Europe, I have a slightly different slant on the 80s than if you're from the USA or from Australia or wherever. We all have
Right.
different takes on what the 80s is to us. You know, and like I was never into what was it, G.I. Joe. That
Oh,
was an
yeah.
American. In England, made Action Man.
Action Man. Yeah,
Action
I
Man
remember
was
that.
the
Action Man.
British
Yep.
version of G.I. Joe, basically.
Yep.
You know, but I never really liked that either. I thought that was kind of crazy.
Yeah, and
But-
back then we had like the things also from Japan were like the episodes of Godzilla and like
Oh,
Mothra and all those different stop animation Japanese things coming out. That was all back.
Do you
then,
remember
back
the
that
old
time.
Godzilla cartoon with his son Gozuki?
Oh yes.
And he would blow,
Yes.
he would try and fly, and instead of breathing fire, he'd blow rings of smoke instead.
Yep. Yep.
They were the good times. They
Yep.
were good times.
A
They were-
little lame for doing that, but yeah.
Yeah.
So
But that's the thing. They were fun. Didn't take itself seriously.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You know?
So I'm just going to bring our conversation back to some of like the things that you're up to. So a lot of people still don't know what your official kind of like position here is with RetroSynth Records. So I figure we might as well talk about it, and that way, in case there's people that are listening that need your services, they can take advantage of that. So. Real quick, let's talk about, before I announce, those services, how long have you been doing music?
Well, I started trying to keep it short. I actually started music in the early 80s when my uncle had an organ, in quotes. And for some reason, as soon as I touched it, I could play it, and nobody ever knew why. And then I got the teacher at school realized I could play, and I'd never touched a piano or anything before. So he started teaching me actually the piano. Then I went on to a Moog Rogue, a little synthesizer, but it was his personal one. He let me use it. So
Right.
that's when I started learning synthesizers, was around about 86, 87, I would say.
Okay.
And then when I went to college, which would have been very early 90s, is when I really got into the professional Roland, Korg, all that kind of production. And then I started learning about, the basics of mixing back then. And I learned a little bit about mastering, multi-tracking, all about sound design. And then after I left college, I actually started a studio with a friend I met at college who had a small studio, but we expanded it into a much larger one. So we had a fully hardware studio then.
Wow.
So I have a lot of experience on the hardware side.
Right.
Then when I moved to the USA, obviously I couldn't bring the equipment with me because obviously, different power supplies, you have to buy converters. It's just not feasible.
Oh yeah.
Yep. So I sold my part of the studio to him, and then I started with a software studio, which is actually FR Studio.
Right.
I went to that, so I have a lot of experience with that.
Yep.
Then I started buying hardware again, such as the Roland EP70 electric piano.
Right.
And then before I knew it, I was building my hardware setup back up again.
Yep.
Because I realized that software is great, but I'm a hands-on type person.
Right. Now, real quick, can you just briefly, because we don't have much time, I have to get into our another announcement.
I'm sorry, I ramble.
Oh, that's okay. Hey, so do I. Hello. That's why we're best friends. Hello.
Yeah.
Let's real quick in like a minute, right? Can you put to bed the debate between which is better, hardware versus software? Because you have actually handled, like actual Roland synthesizers, and now we both subscribe to Roland Cloud. Let's say the JD800, right? Is there an actual difference that you can hear with your finely tuned ears? Can you hear a difference between the hardware versus the official VST from Roland?
Basically only in the transformers. So the output of the synthesizer adds slight coloration because it's going through hardware. So the amplification, when it's sent out, will colorize it. And this is basically, you can produce anything in hardware or anything. You can get any sound you want in hardware or software, okay?
Right.
There's no, this is better. It's what's your preference. The problem people have, and I've discovered this a lot, is there's a big misconception, especially in a lot of the synthwave scene, is people will come to me and they'll be like, I need this to be mixed in analog. And then you mix something in analog and they get it back. They're like, oh, dude, that sounds awesome, but can you get rid of the hiss? And I'm like, but the hiss you're hearing is the analog side of it. That's part of this side effect of analog, is you get this sound. I said, but I don't want that, but I still want it analog. And I'm like, then you want it digital. If you don't want any hiss, you want it digital.
Right. That's all part of the magic of it.
You decide, do you want that character of analog, which is the little bit of hum, the little bit of hiss, that's the character of analog, okay?
Right. And each synthesizer is different, right? Like, so like one Juno 106 next to another Juno 106, they're going to sound different.
None of the same, because all the transformers, all the different components wear differently.
Right.
Or they all have different dust on it.
Yeah.
And it's the same with microphones. You could have 10 SM7Bs, okay? You could have them in different rooms. They will all sound totally different because the surroundings are different, or the circuitry is slightly different, or the cable's different. So you're never going to get, and this is why I want people to know. This is why you will walk into a big studio and they may have, 5 LA2As all stacked on top of each other. And it's because each one of those will sound slightly different.
Yeah.
They've all got their own character. So when someone says to you, oh, this plugin doesn't sound like the hardware, well, guess what? That hardware don't sound like that hardware either. So
right.
It's honestly, it's what do you want and what do you expect? And usually you think you want one thing, really you want another, unless you've grown up with hardware.
Right.
Then you know what you want because you're used to hearing that.
Right.
But if you've grown up with digital and then you hear hardware, sometimes it may shock you because that saturation you hear to somebody who grew up with the hardware is musical, but to you, because you grew up with digital, it may not be musical and you might not like it.
Exactly.
So be very careful what you ask for, because
you might get it right. You'll get exactly what you ask for.
Pardon the expression, but you might spend a shitload of money and get horse crap back because it's not what you expect.
Right. Well, I'm just gonna bring that into what I want to talk about real quick. So, because I have back-to-back announcements here I have to make.
Great show today, by the way.
But what's that?
great show today.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. It's jam-packed, man.
Yeah.
But what I wanted to gear into is the fact that you have all this knowledge, you have years of experience, you can fully explain things just like that sometimes are like way over my head and way over a lot of other people's heads that they may think in one way or the other, and that's sometimes when they get stuck, when they're trying to either mix or master their song and they can't seem to get out of their own box, right? And that's usually when artists will say, okay, I throw my hands up, I give up, it's time to call in the troops to properly mix and master my song. So that's why I wanted to segue into, for all those out there listening who don't know already, and of course a lot of people that are in our chat already know, however, for all those listening on KSWV Radio Shockwave, or they're going to be rewatching this show, Christopher J. Payne is our in-house mix and master engineer, and he is the one who will be professionally mixing and mastering your release. He has an amazing set of experience, loads of both software and hardware in his studio. He has mixed and mastered for some of the very best in the business, on our label, out of the label, and what he has also done is racked up a nice repertoire of both software and hardware releases. Like you specifically master everything for vinyl that comes through RetroSynth Records. So just wanted to point that out in case anyone out there needs to have their stuff professionally mixed, mastered, or converted to a certain physical format, such as mastering for vinyl, mastering for cassette, that you're the guy to make all that happen. And just want to also put it out there, if you are a signed artist with RetroSynth, it's part of the benefits of signing with RetroSynth Records. You get a very super special in-house RetroSynth Records artist price, and if you are outside of the label, you get a different price, and that is part of the partnership that we have with you, Christopher J. Payne, in order to make all that happen. So just wanted to say that.
If people come to me directly, I usually send them straight to Dan because
Right.
I don't deal with business. I'm a creative person. Okay. So I will send them to Dan, and then I will say sometimes what will happen is, just so people know, is I will listen to a mix, and if it's not ready to be mastered, I will be honest, and I will say I don't want to waste anybody's time or
money.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes what will happen is I'll get a mix and I'll be like, oh, this mix, it doesn't quite work it. I can master it. You can master anything, okay?
Right.
Mastering isn't just about volume, but that's what some people seem to think it is, but it's not.
Yep.
There's a lot more involved. There's saturation. There's just a lot involved. And sometimes you get something in, and I'm honest, and I will often send stuff back to an artist. They send it back to me, and I will make little pointers, and I will say, this is a little, once it's mastered, this bit is standing out too much, because when you master it also shows problems in a mix.
Right.
And while sometimes you can fix those in a master, it's always best to get it right in the mix, because when you correct something in a master, you could be bringing a lot of frequencies down that other instruments also occupy, and then you end up totally changing the mix. And you want to complement the mix. You don't want to totally change someone's mix.
Yep.
That's why I personally prefer to mix and master tracks for people, just simply because I can go into the mix as many times as I need to while I'm mastering.
Right. You can take care of it right then and there.
You don't have to wait for someone else to get back to you, or worry about bending somebody if you point something out that's wrong, because we're all artists. I'm a musician, you're a musician.
Yep.
And sometimes we could be so passionate, we don't want to hear that something's wrong with what we've done.
Yeah, and that happens with practically any artist out there. They don't want to feel butthurt that there's something wrong, but it's in their best interest that we point out, hey, this isn't right. Otherwise we're doing them a disservice.
If I don't point it out, somebody else might, and then it would be worse. If I've mastered it and I don't point out a problem that I hear,
right,
I'm not doing my job.
Right.
So I have to find a tactful way to be like, You might want to take a look at this and then hope that they don't come back offended.
Exactly.
Sometimes it happens, and
Exactly.
I never mean it in a nasty way. It's always because I'm trying to get the best out of something.
Right.
It's not because I'm trying to be mean.
Right, exactly. All right, well, look, so we're just going to put it out there that for mixing and mastering, there are two different prices. If you want it mastered, that's one price. If you want it mixed and mastered, that is a different price. So just in case anyone...
But always
out there
go
wants to
through
know.
Dan. I don't deal with business.
Yes, so if you're interested in having Chris mix and master or mix and master, whatever you will need, feel free to contact me via all the different social media platforms, our website, retrosynthrecords.com, or you can hit me up through Facebook or our official RetroSynth Records Discord, because we do have a Discord as well. Either way will reach me, and then we can discuss terms on that. All right, sir. Well, I have to get to our announcements. Do you want to hang on, or do you want to let you go? Totally up to you.
I'm gonna go because my wife's coming home from work, so I have to go in.
All
take
right.
care of a
Well,
few things.
perfect timing then.
But before we go, I just want to say hi to Luna.
Yep. Hi to
We all
Luna.
love you, Luna, and just hang in there. But I know things are tough for everybody, so
Yep,
you're good.
the amazing, beautiful Luna Coverdale. Yes,
Exactly,
Yes, indeed. Our station manager here, program director at KSWV.
Yeah, she's
Radio
awesome. For people who
Shockwave.
don't know, she's awesome. So.
Yes, she is. Yes,
Yeah.
she is.
Dan is as well, but don't tell him because it goes to his head.
Yeah, well, don't need that now happening. So.
Exactly.
All right, brother. Well, look, I'll let you go. We're going to get into our announcements here, and I thank you so much for your time and hope to have you on more often.
Okay, next time on, we can get into technical stuff. If people want that, want to leave questions, I'll answer.
Yeah, that'll be awesome. That will be
Okay, then.
awesome. All right, man.
Okay,
have
I'll
a good one.
see you later.
All right, bye-bye.
Okay, you too. Bye.
All right. So, Alexar's Retro Portal just joined us in the chat. Christopher J. Payne. I was interviewing Christopher J. Payne. All right. So now is the time you have all been waiting for. I have two back-to-back announcements. You thought I was done with the MCTV announcement and also the official mixing mastering partner with Christopher J. Payne? No, I am not done. I am far from done. I have an official announcement right now to make for a new member of the RetroSynth Records artist family. We have another artist joining us. And after that, my friends, I have an announcement that still takes my breath away just thinking about it. And it is opening so many doors of opportunity for everyone involved in the collaboration. So I do hope you bear with me. This is the new Casual Fridays with Dan format, just so that you all know. Time is now from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will no longer be going to 8 p.m. Eastern Time, at least for not the foreseeable future. If we get the numbers up and this place is jamming with all kinds of people in the chat and streaming it, then maybe I'll consider going longer again. But as of right now, we're going to keep it to 2 hours. All right, so without further ado, we need to get into our announcement. So RetroSynth Records is very proud to present the following.
Take your sorry. But don't know why. No, I don't know why I do that. No, I don't know why. I'm sorry.
trying to avoid? Like, can the people on the TV see me, or am I just paranoid? When I'm in the shower, I'm afraid to wash my hair, cause I might open my eyes and find someone standing there. People say I'm crazy, just a little touched, but maybe showers remind me of Psycho too much, that's why
I always feel like somebody's watching me. 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 I always feel like somebody's watching me.
Couldn't get my my microphone on there. Yes, yes. Big shout out and welcome to Milan for joining RetroSynth Records. Shout out to Retro Reverb Records, our partners, for joining in the chat. Welcome. And I'm just going to give another minute or two for everyone to, if you want to share the good news that I have to share, go grab everyone that you know in Synthwave and get them to get over here right now for our next announcement. Because it's you know, it's awesome, you know. It's up there with us joining Retro Reverb Records, if that makes sense. Yeah, it's, I'm almost speechless for what it is. So I'll go on a little bit just to say that, you know, coming up as a fan of Synthwave, you know, I, like many of you, I started off as a fan before I became an artist. And when it comes to that, you always have someone, you know, whether it be whatever music that you're making, there's always like that artist or that that group, that band, that singer that you want to emulate, you know, so that you have a starting point. Like for me, when I started into Synthwave, I thought I wanted to emulate Time Cop and Michael Oakley, you know, and that first album that Neutron Dreams put out. Very much inspired by both, and they were both influential in the creation of that first album. Michael Oakley especially, he helped me with all the mixing and mastering and stuff like that, because I was totally green. I had no idea. I was producing music for video games, you know, with the help of my bandmate, Christopher J. Payne. That's how we met, was making music for mods for PC games. That's how we got started. And it was more like epic battle music, not this stuff with a hardcore four-on-the-floor danceable beat. So that's how we got started with Neutron Dreams, and it was involved, Time Cop and Mike Lowley, OGs, what I consider OGs of Synthwave. Well, when you're in it as long as I have been, and you're a fan as long as I have been, you come to know most of the OGs, most of the big names in all of Synthwave, and those elder artists that have come before you, that you have a mutual respect for, but you also aspire and kind of lift up on a pedestal. Same thing if you're in rock and roll or rap or whatever. There's always going to be those who came before you that kind of blaze the trail. Well, when you're a fan who is also an artist, who also happens to own a record label, it comes as an honor and amazing surprise when people that you thought were going to be too far aloof to ever working with, to saying yes. It's just sometimes we're afraid. We're afraid of the yes. And that goes for all things in life. Whatever you're doing, if you have doors of opportunity, the worst thing you can ever be afraid of is the no. But what if it's not the no that you're afraid of? What if it's the yes? Because you can have no's all day long. You could be a door-to-door salesperson, or you could be doing negotiations in companies and stuff, or asking customers for their business. You're going to get lots of no's. You can't be afraid of the no, but you have to know about the yes, and when it comes, and how to digest that yes and go forward with the yes that you got. So this started months and months and months and months and months ago. And I'll give the hint. It started with Power Rob. Power Rob opened the door. So thanks to Power Rob for making this happen, because he blazed the trail for it to happen. And I never thought in my wildest dreams that this moment right now would actually happen. So we said all kinds of meetings, we put contracts in place, and now, today, it's official. So, without further ado, I present the following announcement video. Yes. Yes. And that is the big news for today. RetroSynth Records is now officially collaborating with Rosa Corsa Collective, featuring all those awesome names that you just saw on the screen, including the very person that you heard that song, Accelerate, by none other than Miami Nights 1984. And like I said, Power Rob opened this door with his song, Restless Summer with Miami Nights 1984. And it has just led to us talking and talking and talking and talking until we have now gotten to this point. And I am totally blown away. Totally blown away. I am running out of time, so I'm going to make one more little announcement of some things we have cooking already with the Rosa Corsa Collective. So we have some vinyl things going on with multiple artists right now from Rosa Corsa. But again, some of my favorites of all time, including Mr. Jordan F. with my favorite song, one of my favorite synthwave songs of all time. This is Take Flight. And of course, it's not going to play. Great. Thanks for stealing my thunder. All right. We're not going to play Take Flight. You know what? We are. Screw the algorithm. I want you all to know what I'm talking about. Let's go. was Take Flight by the legendary Jordan F. from Rosa Corsa Collective. And we are in talks about bringing that to vinyl. So, yes. So, exciting times here. Exciting times indeed, especially when you get to work with artists that you have looked up to, and yeah, I'm still, for lack of words, if you if you can't figure that out, I'm so excited I almost don't know what to say, except for, well, it's time for me to leave you all today, but I do have some other things I want to talk about. A couple things. In our visualizer, we have a couple of products. If you could check those out, they definitely do help. We have our official coffee, Blackout Coffee. Head over to blackoutcoffee.com, enter code DANIE20 for 20% off your first order, or click in the link down below. Bold, never bitter, strong flavors, ecologically safe and ethically sourced. Blackout Coffee is the way to go. And then also Ridge Wallet. That product is tagged. The carbon fiber wallet, that is the wallet that I have. They were gracious enough to provide me with a Ridge Wallet, which I'll be making a separate video just showcasing the Ridge Wallet and all it can do and features. But you can check out Ridge Wallet. Enter code YouTube10 and you get 10% off your order over at Ridge Wallet, but only if you click on the tagged product here on this video. So we have to just do a little recap before I get out of here. We had all kinds of announcement. We have MCTV, the now official TV station of RetroSynth Records, and it is available over on Apple. It is on Google, and it is over on Roku. So you can check that out, get that, pick that up. Again, you can stream MCTV like it was MTV back in the day, and except back when they actually played music, this is all music. It's mostly 99% is all music videos, courtesy of RetroSynth Records. So you're going to be seeing a lot of RetroSynth there, but it is, of course, open to everything and everybody out there. However, the official way, if you want to get your music heard on MCTV, is either through their website or directly through RetroSynth. It's part of the deal. If you become a RetroSynth artist, your music will appear on MCTV. We are joined by Bending Grid. Dude, you're late to the party, but that's okay. I played your song at the very beginning. It is now the new intro to the Casual Fridays with Dan show, and we're going to be making a music video out of all that and put that out there. That is going to be our new theme song for the label, is RetroSynth Rise. And it's perfect for the theme of RetroSynth, because we're all a family here, and as we all rise together. We all lift together. So as artists move up, we all move up. As the label moves up, the artists move up. That is the premise of all of this. So we announced MCTV as the official TV station. We also had Christopher J. Payne in here, and he is our official mixing and mastering engineer. So if you have music that needs to be mixed or mastered, or mixed and mastered, definitely hit me up, because he is probably one of the best in the business, and his rates can't be beat. Like, literally. I don't think there's anyone cheaper than him for what he does. His skills you'll pay hundreds for per track, but not if you go through Christopher J. Payne and, of course, RetroSynth Records. So you want to definitely do that if you need that kind of service. Then we also had a brand new artist announcement featuring Milan, welcoming Milan to the RetroSynth Records artist family. And then, of course, the big one that we just announced, RetroSynth Records is now officially collaborating with Rosa Corsa Collective, featuring artists such as Jordan F., Miami Nights 1984, Laserhawk, Mitch Murder. We're talking huge OG synthwave talent we are now in collaborations with, and we will be fulfilling most, if not all, of their merchandise. So if anyone on that label needs merch, it's going to be coming through RetroSynth Records in all things CDs, cassettes, and vinyl. So expect a lot of Rosa Corsa collective music to be coming out of RetroSynth Records, and could not be happier to announce that to all of you. And let me tell you, I am smiling from ear to ear. You all can't see it, but I'm happy. It took a long time to get to this point, and just working that deal out alone took hours and hours and hours, and many meetings and contracts and stuff like that. So I expect much, much more coming out of RetroSynth Records. So, all right, it is time for the last song of the day, and I need to get out of here. So I want to thank you all for being here with Casual Fridays with Dan over on KSWV Radio Shockwave out of San Diego, California, where we play you, and also here at the RetroSynth Records live stream. And I'm going to go out with a remix that we did. Began the song with remix. It was the Bending Grid remix that will be out soon. And this is going to lead us out for the night. I'm going to do the Dream Pocket Outrun the Night Neutron Dreams remix. So I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your evening. Have a great weekend. Be sure to check out Blake and Luna Coverdale tomorrow on Saturday. And I wish you all a wonderful weekend. And I will catch you all next week for Wacky Submission Wednesdays with Dan.
Don't you turn around, there's a shift in the night.